Greetings, Love Posse. Welcome to today's message. Spiritual growth requires reflection, serious thought and consideration about how we walk on this earth. Serious thought and consideration daily about how we interact with people, what we think about, consideration of our patterns that we recognize and are aware of, consideration about how far we've come on our journey. Are we still repeating the same mistakes? Now, I would suggest making this a daily practice. And if not a daily practice, at least 3 times a week. I do this at night before I go to bed. I reflect on my day. I reflect on my conversations that I've had with people, how I interacted with people. If I was triggered, I ask the questions why. And honestly, usually if I'm engaging with someone and some sensation arises, or I'm having a feeling about something, or I might be triggered at that moment, I usually stop and say to the person, I'm having a moment here. Give me a few seconds so that I can reconnect, so that I can engage while being present. And once I allow that sensation, feeling, or emotion to pass, I'm able to give that person my full attention. And later, I go home, I get my journal, I sit, and I reflect. I look at and ask myself questions. What was going on there? What was that sensation about? What is it? And I give it a name. Where did it come from? Or why was I triggered? What in me needs some more work? What in me must I take time to develop? What is asking for attention within? Because that's all a part of spiritual growth. We must take time and practice reflecting on our thoughts, what triggers us, how we behave, our life, our patterns. Do we still have these same obstacles that are keeping us stuck? Are we enjoying life? Are we doing things that are meaningful? How are we engaging with other people? Are we learning from our life lessons? That's a spiritual practice. That's how we grow spiritually. We must look at honestly if we are growing, if we are the model person, the model self that we wish to be in the world. Are we our ideal self? In one of my classes in graduate school, psychosynthesis, we had to write out our idea of our ideal self. What does our ideal self look like? And I wrote down my ideal self as someone who is playful and kind and loving and adventurous and honest and always growing, and other things, other descriptors and pointers and characteristics and ideals. And then ask ourselves, are we, or am I my ideal self? Am I living as my ideal self? And I am. I am. So reflection allows us to look at that. Are we who we want to be? Are we radiating love in this world? Are we living in self-judgment and therefore judging others? Are we loving? Are we kind? Are we contributing in a way that we want to, desire to contribute in this world? Right? Are we who we say we are? We must reflect, because spiritual growth requires reflection, requires us to look at ourselves honestly from the inside out. We must take time and practice having serious thought and consideration about who we are and how we are. That's a part of spiritual practice. That's a part of this path, right? That's a part of developing or becoming a conscious human being, an aware human being. We must reflect in order to become aware of that which is within us, that is undeveloped, that is dark, that is needing some attention, that is wanting to be healed. Spiritual growth requires reflection. I want to thank you for your time. If this content is valuable for you, please like or subscribe to my channel. Please share. Many of you know that I'm the author of 3 books. My first book is Tap That. Please check it out. It's on Amazon. And tapping, yes. I am a level 2 tapping practitioner, and I use tapping in my personal and spiritual growth counseling sessions to help my clients heal and process wounds, childhood wounds, process emotions and feelings and whatever they need to process. So check this book out. It's not your typical tapping book, right? It is infused with my experiences in this body as African American. My second book, Tap Tap, Tracy's Hair, God Made It Special, is my children's tapping book, and it deals with the issue of bullying, and it helps children to process their feelings and emotions and pain and hurt that come with bullying with the technique of tapping. And my recently released book is Tap That 2, Healing the Death Trauma. You see, I have a new cover. This is an amazing book, actually my favorite, and it's important in this time as we are experiencing the change called death at an overwhelmingly intense level with COVID. So, thank you for supporting my work. I'll see you again. I love you. I appreciate you. You are loved. Namaste. Namaste.